everybody and welcome to this video. My name is Lydia. I'm a fertility educator and today we're going to be reviewing the Inito Fertility Monitor. I have my list here of the pros and cons. We're going to work through the pros first and then we'll cover the cons. For the first pro, honestly, I feel like this is the best priced fertility monitor on the market, at least out of the ones I've looked at and purchased. We'll get into that more in the cons as far as pricing. They have sales pretty frequently, and the biggest sales they have, you can get it for $99. So not bad at all, and that comes with 15 test strips as well. It's otherwise $149, but I think they always have the option on their site. If you're buying for the first time, you get 15% off, which brings it to $127, which if you really look at things and you're going to be using it quite a lot, that's not bad at all compared to like getting blood work done, which is very expensive. For the second pro, I love the simple setup of this. As you can see, a very simple product. You can see the actual monitor here, and then there's a clip that clips onto your phone. You just have to take your case off the phone, slide it on, but it's very, very simple. If you're not super good with technology, not a problem. Very, very simple setup. So that was also just a nice pro about this monitor. I also feel that this applies to the actual using the product. I'll insert some videos here. You can see what the fertility monitor looks like when it's clipped on to my phone. As I said, you do need to take your case off so you're able to slide it on. Always just make sure that your camera is like clean before you put it on, because that's going to really help make sure you're getting accurate results. Once it's on there, very simple instructions to actually use it. You just pee in your urine cup, you dip the strip in the cup, count for 15 seconds. The app actually walks you through all of this every single time if you choose to, which is really nice. Put the strip in, count for 15 seconds, and then you're going to take the strip. You take the top part off of the strip and put it over the bottom to cover the urine end, which is a little bit harder than it sounds because it's like really on there. You really have to tug to get it off sometimes. But yeah, once you cover that end, you are going to make sure you insert the correct end into the monitor. So you've got that little QR code on top that you're sticking into the monitor. And then, yeah, it'll automatically start the countdown and you'll be good to go. So very, very simple setup and just instructions. And like I said, the app takes you through all that as well. So my number 3 for the pros would be just all of the things that it measures on the normal test strips that you get. It measures FSH, LH, estrogen, and progesterone, which I really like because some other fertility monitors, the tests that are a little cheaper don't test like all of these things. So, I mean, you're getting what you pay for. So I really like that all their tests, it just has all 4 of those. This is my chart for this cycle. I do not take a test every single day, but you can see the graph is just really nice, and you can also put other information like your basal body temperature, which you can see is the gray line there. You can see my progesterone is the blue line. I believe estrogen is green, and then FSH and LH are the ones that are pretty flat. I do really like the app as well. I didn't have that as one of my main points, but as most fertility monitors out there, this does come with an app that's free. It's very user-friendly. I feel like it makes a lot of sense. So for my 4th and final pro about this, they have a really good support team in my experience. I have had some issues with some of my tests or things like that, and they're very, very quick to email you back. It's also very easy to email them. Typically, if you have an error pop up, there will be a selection that pops up on the app asking if you want to call them or email them, and you can just choose whichever option, explain your problem. If you email them, it seems like they're pretty quick to get back to you. I do really appreciate that about them. If you do have problems, they seem really easy to work with and quick to get back to you. So that's really, really nice. Now, let's get into some of the cons and explain some things I don't like as much. And then I'll explain if I feel like it's still a good purchase overall, if I would buy this again. So for my number 1 con, let's talk more about the price. Of course, I talked about it as a pro in the beginning of this video. It's not terrible, the price that you pay, especially if you get it on sale. The problem that will get you is the cost of the test to keep buying them if you want to keep using this fertility monitor. Typically, you will buy them in packs of 15. For a typical pack of 15 test strips, it costs $49. The annoying thing is you need to test every day if you want it to connect the dots in the app. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. Typically 15 test strips is enough for one cycle of testing. Now, when you're buying it through the app, you do get a discount if you're like buying more strips. Like if you're getting 2 packs of 15, it's like 25% off. So there are things that will help it be a little bit cheaper. Don't be fooled by the price initially, because you do have to keep buying the test strips in order to use it, and it's not extremely cheap. Still, I feel like it's better than the amount you're gonna pay for like blood work to be able to see these results day after day throughout your cycle. Let's go into con number 2. So for con number 2, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the errors that come up. I've experienced it like once or twice myself over the past 8 or 9 months using the Inito, and I don't use it every single cycle or every single day, just so it's a little more cost effective. It does seem fairly common to get some errors, and it's really annoying because you never want to have to use another test just because of how expensive they are. It hurts a little bit if you have to redo it. However, that is kind of balanced by the pro that I talked about earlier, which is Inito is really good to work with. And there have been times I saw through the Facebook group that they will actually reach out to you if they see like some inconsistencies or something that gives them reason to think that your monitor might not be working perfectly. Like they'll give you a new one and new test strips. They're really good to work with. So that does help kind of balance it out. But just be aware, you may get errors even if you do everything right. Now you will get an error if you do something wrong as well. And that's, I mean, to be expected if it's user error. But sometimes there will be something that just goes wrong, even if you did everything perfectly right, which is kind of frustrating. That's all for that one. Let's move on to con number 3. For the con number 3, let's talk about the time it takes. It doesn't bother me the amount of time that the Inito takes to process the test strip and everything. There's going to be just the time that it takes to read everything, and that's just to be expected. It's still quicker than having to wait like days and days to get test results. However, Inito themselves on their website says you get results in 10 minutes, and that's just not true in my experience. I guess with some people, when they put the test strip in, the countdown starts at 300 seconds, and for others, it's 600 seconds. I think they're just updating it to 300 seconds because they're realizing that's all it takes or something. Mine still say 600 seconds. The countdown starts there. You don't have the results once that countdown is over. It just says like the test strip is loading. There's just no countdown. You don't know how long it's gonna take. So that kind of bothered me, because why bother with that countdown if it's not actually gonna be ready when the countdown is up? If that makes sense, like I don't understand the point of that. The other complaint that I have with that is, why is the countdown in seconds when it's like so many? Why 600 seconds? Why not show like this many minutes and this many seconds? It's like, why? That doesn't make sense. It's so weird when you're like, okay, I need to go in 5 minutes and there's 350 seconds left. Let me do quick math to figure out how long that actually is. And then, like I said, it's not even done when the countdown is over. It's just still loading. Since you're using your phone, you know, it's connected to the monitor. It's like, you can't just leave and let it continue loading. Like, you've got to wait until it's over. So that's just another odd thing that I feel like they could definitely improve, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did improve that and change that. The fourth con is the accuracy. In my opinion, I don't feel like it's extremely accurate. This is partially due to like how it's processing these test strips, because if you look at your Inito test strip, you'll see there's like a couple different strips in there and they've got lines. My understanding is it's like taking pictures of those and kind of quantifying the values based off of the image of like how dark each of the lines are. I could be wrong, I could be a little bit off in this. However, I do think that it is consistent enough. If you're looking at a trend, it's gonna be giving you enough of an answer. There's different discrepancies there, and just with the fact that it is urine, it is not a blood test, so the results you're getting are going to be different. If you got a blood test that day and took an Inito test, the results are going to be different. partially because the blood test is showing what's currently in your blood. The urine test is kind of showing a picture of what was in your blood yesterday or whatever the case may be. That's kind of my issue with it, is I don't trust it to be 100% accurate. However, I do think it's accurate enough to be predicting your fertile window, to give you information like, is my progesterone rising? Is my progesterone dropping too soon? I'm using it to keep track of the health of my cycles, and I've been using it to keep track of my luteal phase. So what I'm looking at is the progesterone primarily, my progesterone rising and when my progesterone levels are dropping. So it's not as important to me what exactly those values are, although I do like to see a picture of, you know, how high is it getting? Is it getting higher than last month, or how it's looking, you know, these past couple months? Is the trend like getting better or worse? That kind of stuff. That's how I personally am using the Inito. Let's use that as kind of my segue into, would I buy this again? Do I feel like it's worth it overall? Do the pros outweigh the cons? So for me, I do feel like the pros do outweigh the cons, and I have used other fertility monitors and I still come back to the Inito. I do like it. It is a little bit pricey, but compared to other options, it's not terrible, and I would buy it again. Of course, I would definitely buy it on a sale. I am going to share my little referral. I can give you a $25 discount, and then I get a $25 discount to get more test strips. So I'll have that linked in my description if you're interested in buying the Inito. So yeah, for price, I feel like it's manageable, it's doable. And once again, you know, when you talk about getting errors and that kind of stuff, I do feel like the pros do still outweigh the cons in that, because they do have really good email support and help support, and they're willing to, you know, send you new strips or a new monitor and things like that. So I do feel like I'm still willing to, you know, put up with maybe every once in a while having an error with the amount of support that they give, which is great. I do feel like it's been a really helpful tool for me in my own journey of just figuring out my cycles, getting a better picture of what's going on hormonally, and it's been really helpful for me. I have been evaluating like my progesterone levels and the health of my luteal phase, which is really important for people who want to conceive in the future. Maybe you're not like looking to try to get pregnant right now, but you're wanting to make sure that you are healthy enough to give you a really good chance at a healthy pregnancy and being able to conceive. I would buy this again, and I do actually really like this product. I hope this video was helpful for you. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you like it, and leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'd love to help you out. I'd love it if you go and check out my other videos. Like I said, I'm a fertility educator, and I post videos like this and related to all kinds of cycle issues and period stuff. So definitely check those videos out if you want to learn more about this kind of stuff. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.